All right, get ready for this one, because today we're taking a deep dive into Orient Technologies.
Orient Technologies.
Yeah, they're an Indian IT company, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
they're making some serious moves.
Oh, this is going to be good.
You guys really hooked us up with this one.
What did they give us?
We've got their investor presentation,
Okay.
the latest press release, board meeting notes, and even some podcast questions.
Podcast questions.
Yes, it's like someone's really wants to know what's up with this company.
It does seem like we've got some insider info here.
Right.
Before we go too crazy, though, let's back up a bit.
Okay.
Who is Orient Technologies?
And why should we even care? Well, they're not exactly a household name.
Oh,
At least not yet.
Right.
But this investor presentation says they've been around since 1997.
Wow. So they've been around the block a few times.
Headquartered in Mumbai.
Okay.
They offer a pretty diverse range of solutions, everything from infrastructure and cloud services to data management.
Yeah. They're definitely not newcomers to the scene.
Yeah.
And it seems like they've got a strong foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're boasting about their strong promoters in the presentation. Over 25 years experience in IT.
Wow.
This isn't some fly-by-night operation. These guys, they've got some serious veterans running the show.
Okay, that's the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
How are they actually performing?
Yeah, how are they doing?
Their latest quarterly figures announced in this press release look pretty impressive.
Oh, lay it on me.
Their revenue for Q3 of FY25 hit $2,068.57 million.
Hold on, how much?
Or $2,068.57 million.
That's a 33.01% jump compared to last year, same period.
Yeah, that's not just good growth, that's phenomenal.
That's huge.
It makes you wonder what's fueling that kind of growth.
Right. And is it even sustainable?
Yeah, is it a fluke?
Well, let's see. Their EBITDA and PAT are also up significantly year on year.
Okay.
15.60 and 16.64% respectively.
Wow, they're not messing around.
Even their earnings per share got a nice boost, 7.90%.
Solid.
And it's not just a one-time thing.
Oh, really?
The press release makes a point of saying that this growth has been consistent for the past 9 months.
So they're not just riding some wave.
It seems like they've found a winning formula.
They've got something figured out.
Yeah.
Consistent, strong growth across the board. But the question is,
Yeah.
where's all this revenue coming from?
Right.
The investor presentation breaks it down by industry.
Okay.
And there's some really interesting trends in there.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Their bread and butter seems to be the mid-market segment.
Mid-market, how much are we talking?
Over half of their revenue for the year.
Makes sense. Tons of potential for growth there.
Right, but I think there's more to the story.
Oh, I think you might be right.
Mid-market is their largest source, but it's actually increased as a percentage of their total revenue.
Really?
It was 53.04% overall.
Okay.
But for Q3 specifically,
Yeah.
it jumped to 65.74%.
Whoa, so it's not just that they're growing within that segment.
Right.
Something else is shifting in their revenue streams.
Could it be that massive government cloud contract they just landed?
Ooh, you think?
That's got to be huge for a company like this.
You're right. Landing a government contract on that scale is a major win for any IT company.
Especially one that provides infrastructure, cloud services, and data management.
Exactly. And both the investor presentation and the press release highlight this contract.
Yeah.
It's with the Digital India Corporation under the Ministry of Electronics and IT.
Big-time players.
No small potatoes here. They're managing AWS workloads for some of India's most important national digital initiatives.
DigiLocker, UMANG, the National Dairy Development Board.
Yeah.
These are platforms used by millions of people across India.
This is a big vote of confidence from the government.
It really is.
This contract isn't just about revenue, it's a statement.
What kind of statement?
Orient Technologies is being trusted as a partner for mission-critical government projects.
Well,
they're positioning themselves as a potential leader in India's digital transformation.
and that revenue shift we were talking about,
Yeah.
their government and PSU segment jumped to almost 12% in Q3,
Up from.
just under 9% overall.
So that spike makes a lot more sense now.
Right.
It's all coming together.
It's like everything's clicking into place.
They're securing these major government contracts, shifting their revenue streams, and their financials are booming.
But there's more.
There's always more.
They're also making strategic moves.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like that acquisition mentioned in the board meeting outcome.
Ah, you mean their acquisition of a 60% stake in eProtect 360 Solutions Private Limited?
That's the one.
Now, this is where things get interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
They're doubling down on cybersecurity, which is essential in today's world.
Yeah, with all the data breaches and cyber attacks, it's a concern for everyone.
Every business, every government, everyone on the internet, really.
Exactly.
And this acquisition, they're set to finalize it by March 31st of this year. Price tag of INR 2.25 CR.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
This suggests that Orient Technologies is really aware of this growing need for cybersecurity.
It's not just a trend for them.
They're not just reacting to the market, they're positioning themselves to be leaders in cybersecurity solutions.
They're playing the long game.
And it seems to be paying off.
You know what's really fascinating, though?
What's that?
Those podcast questions you mentioned earlier.
Oh, right.
It's like a glimpse into what someone, maybe an investor or an analyst, really wants to know about Orient Technology's future.
They do raise some insightful questions.
Don't they?
Questions about their debt position, how they compare to their competitors, their approach to sustainability.
It's like we're eavesdropping on someone prepping for a high-stakes meeting.
All right.
Makes me think maybe whoever wrote these questions already knows quite a bit about Orient Technologies.
Maybe they've already done some digging and they're looking for confirmation or deeper insights.
Straight from the source.
Exactly. They're asking, okay, you're doing great now, but what about the future? What are your challenges? How are you going to overcome them?
That's a great point.
It really gets to the heart of our deep dive today.
So let's use these podcast questions as our roadmap
Okay.
to explore the nuances of Orient Technology's business
Sounds good to me.
and their potential for long-term success.
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive in.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so we're going to dig into these podcast questions now
Right.
and see what we can uncover.
Okay.
One that jumps out right away is about Orient Technology's debt.
Their debt.
Yeah, it's a big deal for any company,
Mm-hmm.
but especially one that's making acquisitions and investing in new ventures like they are.
Right. Debt can be a double-edged sword.
How so?
Well, on one hand, it gives you the capital you need for expansion and growth.
Makes sense.
But on the other hand, high debt levels can really limit a company's flexibility
Oh, I see.
and make them vulnerable to economic downturns.
That's a balancing act.
For sure.
So what can we tell from our sources about Orient Technology's financial health?
Unfortunately, the investor presentation and press release don't give us specifics on their debt.
Really?
Yeah, those kind of details would usually be in a full financial report.
Or like an investor call.
Exactly.
So we've got a bit of a blind spot for now,
It seems that way.
which makes these podcast questions even more interesting.
How so?
Well, whoever wrote these is clearly looking for the kind of information that's not publicly available.
Right, they're digging deeper.
They're trying to get the real scoop.
It really shows the importance of asking the right questions.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the most important information isn't what's said.
It's what's not said.
Exactly.
Speaking of reading between the lines,
Yeah.
there's another question here about comparing Orient Technologies to their competitors.
Yeah.
They're not in a vacuum.
Right, the Indian IT space is super competitive.
Lots of players vying for those government contracts.
And market share.
So how does Orient Technologies measure up?
Good question.
What clues do we have?
Well, our sources don't give us a head-to-head competitor analysis,
Okay.
but there are some interesting tidbits.
Like what?
The press release mentions they won the HPE Storage Ranger Partner FY24 award.
What?
Yeah, the HPE Storage Ranger Partner Award.
A what?
It's a big deal. Basically means they have a strong partnership with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise,
Okay.
and they're recognized for their expertise in HPE storage solutions.
Okay, I'm not super familiar with that. What does it actually mean?
It means they know their stuff,
Okay.
high level of technical proficiency,
Mm-hmm.
customer satisfaction in implementing and managing these solutions.
So it's a good sign.
This kind of award can be a differentiator, especially when you're competing for clients who need reliable data storage.
Oh, I see. So it gives them an edge.
It could.
It's not a complete picture of their competition,
No,
but it's a data point.
for sure.
Makes me wonder if whoever prepared these questions already has a good idea of Orient Technology's competitive landscape.
Maybe they're just looking for more details or confirmation.
Right.
It wouldn't be surprising if these questions are coming from someone who's already done their homework.
Done their due diligence.
Exactly.
Okay, we've talked about debt, competition.
Yes.
Now let's talk sustainability.
Sustainability, big topic these days. Huge. It's not just about profits anymore.
Right, it's about environmental, social, and governance factors.
ESG.
Exactly.
And there's a question in here about Orient Technology's efforts in this area?
Of course there is.
What do we know?
Our current sources don't provide specific details about their sustainability program.
Yeah.
However, the Indian government is pushing sustainable development,
Across the board.
including IT.
Makes sense.
And since Orient Technologies is working with the government on these cloud projects,
Yeah.
it's safe to assume that sustainability is on their radar.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't a factor in getting those government contracts. These days, governments are really looking at the environmental impact of the companies they work with.
Absolutely.
It's likely that Orient Technologies is being asked about their sustainability practices, not just by investors,
By everyone.
by clients, partners, even potential employees.
Sustainability is a hot topic.
It's only going to become more important.
So we don't have all the details yet,
Got ya.
but it's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
What other questions stand out to you from this list?
Well, one that I find interesting is how Orient Technologies is adapting to the changing tech landscape.
Oh, that's a good one.
The IT world is constantly evolving.
It really is new stuff every day.
AI, the metaverse, blockchain, it's a lot to keep up with.
For sure.
And for a company like Orient Technologies,
Mhm.
which is deep into cloud computing and cybersecurity,
Yeah,
staying ahead of the curve is crucial.
absolutely. So are they embracing these new technologies?
That's the question.
What clues do we have?
Our sources don't give specifics about AI or blockchain, but their acquisition of eProtect 360 Solutions tells us something.
What's that?
They're aware of the changing cybersecurity landscape.
Cybersecurity isn't just an IT issue anymore,
It's a business risk.
especially with cloud computing, remote work, and all these sophisticated cyber attacks.
Exactly. By boosting their cybersecurity capabilities through this acquisition,
Mm.
Orient Technologies is showing their commitment to staying ahead of the game.
And providing clients with solutions that address these new threats.
Right.
They're not explicitly talking about AI or the metaverse in their investor presentation.
No.
But their actions show they understand the bigger picture.
They're trying to stay relevant in a fast-changing world.
It's a smart move.
I think so.
So they might not be talking the talk.
But they're walking the walk.
Their actions speak louder than words.
And that's a key takeaway here.
Would it?
When you're analyzing a company, it's not just about what they say.
It's about what they do.
Their decisions tell you more about their vision than any marketing material ever could.
I totally agree.
So,
We've discussed debt,
mhm,
competition, sustainability, and their approach to tech.
all important factors.
Anything else in these questions that we should explore?
One last one caught my eye.
Go on.
It's about their future projections.
What kind of guidance are they giving?
What are their own expectations for their performance?
That's the million-dollar question.
What does the future hold for Orient Technologies?
Yeah, where are they going?
Well, unfortunately, our sources don't include any forward-looking statements. That kind of info usually comes out in earnings calls or more detailed financial reports.
So we're left with a bit of a cliffhanger.
It seems that way.
Still, it's fascinating how these podcast questions give us insights into what people are thinking about Orient Technologies,
It's like we're getting a peek behind the curtain.
into the world of high-stakes investing.
The questions themselves are sometimes more valuable than the answers.
Interesting. We've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
but it feels like we've just scratched the surface.
Orient Technologies is on the move.
They're a company to watch.
Absolutely.
Their journey is far from over.
Let's take a step back for a second
Okay.
and recap what we've learned so far.
Based on what we have,
Sounds like a plan.
okay, let's try and put this all together.
Yeah, what's the big picture for Orient Technologies?
They're definitely a company to watch, that's for sure.
They've been around for a while. They've built a solid base in the Indian IT world.
And they're not just surviving,
No,
they're absolutely thriving.
those Q3 results were pretty impressive.
Yeah, strong growth, healthy margins, it all looks good.
But what really stands out is their strategy.
What do you mean?
They're not just sitting back and relaxing. They're actively going after new opportunities.
Like that government cloud contract.
Exactly. They're becoming a big player in India's digital transformation.
And they're not afraid to make acquisitions either.
That cybersecurity firm they picked up shows they understand what the market needs.
They're thinking ahead.
But those podcast questions we keep talking about,
Yeah.
they really add another dimension to all of this.
How so?
They give us a look into how investors and analysts are thinking.
The kind of questions they're asking.
We're talking about debt levels, competitive advantages, sustainability, all that.
It makes you think, what would I ask if I was in their shoes?
Exactly.
So why should our listeners care about Orient Technologies?
Well, they're at a crossroads.
A turning point,
They're doing a lot of things right, but their future depends on how they handle some key challenges.
like managing their debt
Differentiating themselves from the competition.
and proving they're serious about sustainability.
The next few years will be crucial for them.
They could become a true leader
Or just another face in the crowd.
or just another face in the crowd.
It all comes down to the choices they make.
Exactly.
We've given you a lot to digest today,
We have.
but here's one last thing to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine you're sitting down with Orient Technology's leadership team.
Okay, I'm there.
What would you ask them? What information would you need to feel good about their future?
Those are the questions that matter.
At the end of the day, that's what this deep dive is all about.
Giving you the knowledge to make your own informed decisions.
So stay curious.
Keep asking those tough questions.
And we'll see you next time on the Deep Dive.